Gentlemen, welcome back to Campaign 2, Episode 6. I'm so glad that you're here with me. It's great that our server is up and running, so we don't have to miss this week. And it's been a little while since our last session, so I'll just give you a quick recap to remind you of where the party is. The party last episode made it to Othron and had their call for aid heard by the Stone Shield royalty. But before gaining audience with the king, they participated in the 15th Centennial Dragon Breath drinking competition, with Hank Heavy Gut winning. His name was carved on the plaque of the hearthstone of the Drunken Gnome Inn for the rest of time immemorial. Meeting a strange orc there named Dorheim with a D, they were notified that King Stoneshield wanted to speak with them. After meeting the king, they went forth with his army to liberate the Grand Trading Hall of the North from the undead. But alas, as they made their way around the mountains, they crossed over the boundaries of the mortal realms and found themselves deep in the Fey glades, where they met a most sinister and most beautiful figure. What will become of these adventurers? We pick it back up inside the Fey glade of Lildisa as Garon.
Dang. Spooky.
So Lildisa had walked around you all, and you are just absolutely floored with her majesty and her magnificence. And it came out that Hank's barking there. And it came out that this was the very same woman that Orvin remembered living almost an entire lifetime with. And while you were brought back to the mortal realm after your mushroom glowcap trip, your understanding when you came back to Sharathia was that perhaps she was a wife of yours, that she was your soulmate or a lover. But it has become shatteringly obvious as you are now reminded of her divinity and royalty and esteem that you were nothing more than a plaything for her, and yet it didn't matter to you. You knew that you were used, a piece of mortal flesh to be looked at and pondered, but when she was done with you, you would be cast aside. And you remember that from your time spent with her, that you heard stories, whisperings from among the glade of the Fae that you are not the first mortal to be graced by the presence of Lildisa either. And the stories come to your mind, Orvin, that death is the only result of a first glance of Lildisa. Either from exhaustion, in a desperate effort to please her, or from sorrow, when she inevitably casts you aside.
Wow.
Oh.
What do you say?
What do you even say to that?
That's so sad.
Oh man, what a
Well,
complex.
time to die.
Yeah.
Thus ends our part. This is a
You were only level 2, it's okay. DPK's not that bad.
Yeah. We've characters rolled, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So do I have enough presence of mind right now? I remember we did those rolls. Fortitude saving throw, which I succeeded on. What was that for?
A fortitude save, I don't think would be what you would be rolling. You'd be rolling a will save to be against her. So I wonder if that was for something else.
Okay.
Is the will save, which... Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
did
there's
succeed a save.
we had
save.
a bunch of critical failures except for Asher on the will save.
Yikes! Right.
Orphan got a failure on the will save and
Okay.
failed as well.
Is that enough for me to be able to get a message out to the group about my realization of the history as well as potential future?
You failed this by 4, so you weren't far off, Orvin. And you also know that you had best make up a quick excuse for stealing a time in private with your group.
No, I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up. Okay. Lil Disa.
She glances towards you in not contempt, but utter indifference. Yes, my Orvin?
If I may, to be honest, I wasn't expecting to see you here, and it's so good to see you here. I need to my friends. I just need to catch them up a little bit. Do you think I could just? Oh, hold on.
She cuts you off and she says, you can see anger flash in her eyes when you say that you didn't expect to see her. And she says, well, what do you mean by that, my sweet little mechanized gnome? You promised me, and you made a promise with blood, that the next time you would see me would be to bring back the invention that would speak of my names to the mortals for 1,000 years to come. You were the first mortal that I let go of my glade, and you promised to come back. And I expect that you are here for a purpose. But I surely will allow you some time to present your undoubtedly wondrous mechanical invention dedicated to me.
Yeah.
Hank's got the extension ladder.
No big money in that. We can patent that.
Oh,
Right.
It's not worth it, guys. Don't give the ladder. Orvin, this is nothing.
Off?
Yeah, this invention is not something that you're going to be giving to her. But the only way that you were able to trick her to leave you, as you were rolling consecutive will saves over and over every single day for years and years, you finally managed to succeed one of them. And you convinced her that you would never be able to spread the news of her beauty and majesty if you were to stay by her side for the rest of your life. And so you made her a promise that if only you could get back to your workshop in Horgovite, that you might be able to create a tribute and bring it back to show her, that you might then take it forth and spread her magnificence to the rest of Sharathia.
Right, I did promise that, didn't I?
Remember?
yeah, ooh.
Orvin removes the unworked ivory. People will literally scream your name.
I'd like to just gesture everybody behind the rock here.
I'm gonna shuffle back there. Okay.
And in a hushed tone, although I'm not sure how audible this is gonna be, given the realm that we seem to be in, I'd maybe like to mouth the words, and I'm just gonna mouth them then.
I saw potato. That's what I saw you mouthing.
I saw bean casserole in the beginning.
You did what in your cup?
No, guys. Yeah. So, I guess there's a thing that I've got to be presenting that I kind of promised. I promised to her. Feels like so long ago, but I did promise something. And if I don't deliver, like done.
Well, that is a promise, so...
What's that movie, The Dictator, where he's like...
Yeah.
And I'd like to then just quietly ask, what do I do?
Hank's gonna go. How's the invention coming along?
Can't wait to see it. What do you got?
Oh, hey.
Do tell. What have you worked on?
That's the thing. I kind of forgot.
You broke a promise? Hank's shocked.
No. Orvin, the point of this scam is you gotta keep stringing them along. Like, what was I left it, and then the other
Thatcher
thing.
and Hank are opposites.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm like looking at the ground, checking my head.
Asher, I never took you for one for scams.
Hey, this is just what I've heard, okay? Like,
Okay, well that clears it up.
no personal experience, but you know.
I do.
Oh.
Never mind. Can't say that.
I'm gonna lose power, I think.
Or.
This storm's going crazy.
Uh-oh.
UPS, brother.
My whole desktop just flickered.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to fry my camera in a power surge because it's connected to wall power.
Uh-oh.
Get a surge
Do we need to
protector.
take 10 here and let you figure that out?
Can I just take 2? Can I take 2 really quick just to
Sure.
throw things on battery power?
All right.
Okay.
Stream, we'll be right back.
So sorry. I'll be right
No
back.
problem. And we are back. Carry on, gentlemen.
Okay. I need a plan, guys. What do I say? What do I do?
Just show them the invention.
I agree.
Why is this so difficult?
I don't.
Say you left it in your other robot.
It's in the shop. Say it's in the shop.
Yeah, you're still working on it, perhaps.
Yeah, do you think, like, if I'm still working on it, you think that's fine?
Say you're
Well-
gathering materials for it.
Are you working on it?
Hey. Here's
We don't want to lie.
Orvin, right? Here's the thing, right? What you need to do is and you gotta sell this, all right? See, the invention that you're working on, that you are producing for her, right, is so magnificent, so breathtaking,
Wow.
right? That just securing the materials to do it justice, to make sure that it is done right, right? You're giving your 110% on this, 120%,
Wow.
right?
Medically impossible.
But
This is gonna be incredible, Orvin.
So supportive.
such an exceptional creation, right, requires only the very finest of materials, and they take time to procure.
Ooh, maybe you
Good
say
point.
something along the lines of, with that, but say something along the lines of, an invention for you is, something about not being bound by time. I feel like I know what to say, I just can't.
If you're interested, I can give you lots of types of stone to tell her that you're making it out of.
Would you be open to acting as my stone consultant? And we're actually on a journey for these stones.
Hey, that sounds like a very interesting idea. In fact, a journey for stones is something that I've heard of before.
Why are we always after stones?
Can't escape
Every
it.
campaign, we want rocks.
So create an invention worthy of perfection, it must itself be perfect. And perfection is timeless.
It must not be bound by time, yes.
Okay. Oh, and I guess we need a decent cover as to why I pulled you guys aside. So maybe I was keeping this from you guys because I wanted to. Maybe you're all helping me to get these materials that I need. And originally, I told you guys it was because we were going to make a lot of money off of it. But really, I was just going to give the invention to her. But now I've told you guys about it. And you guys all agree that she's so beautiful that you're happy to do it for no money.
Yeah.
We're all still enamored, right?
Oh yeah,
Sorry. Oh, okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, maybe Hank can try to throw up again.
Hey, Hank, you got that ready?
Yeah, it does make me. I do feel a little sick with all this deception. But it sounds like this invention of yours is going to be incredible, Orvin. I had no idea.
Hank, I'd like to put my hand on Hank's shoulder. Be like,
Yeah.
Hank. There's no deception here. I'd like to roll deception.
Aw.
All right, this is going to be against Hank's will save, which is a DC 17.
Really, I'm really
Oh.
pondering that. Like, yeah. Do I roll that or
No, that's for Asher.
Bark is crazy.
The critical failure.
Remember, new session, new hero points.
New session, new hero
Yeah.
points. Do you want to blow it on that? Hank, you see right through that.
No, I'm hero pointing that.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god.
That will be a success with
The
a
Empirus
23.
guide you.
That's great. Okay, if you say so, I trust you guys so much. You know, and I know you guys are good, honest folk. I'm gonna put a hand back on Asher. Good, genuine, kind-hearted people.
Asher, you monster.
Your words
Salt of the earth.
are too much for a humble man such as I. But I appreciate them from the bottom of my heart.
No, you all deserve it. And Orvin, I'm with you all the way on this invention. I truly believe it is going to be something magnificent. And the lady must understand that it will take some more time.
As you guys are talking with one another, you hear a soft giggle. And it's a weird sound. It sounds like a petal falling onto stone. And you look up, and suddenly you see her again, and yet this time she hasn't taken on the appearance of a gnome. And you watch her, and she's lying on her back, staring up into the starlight, and you can see her pulling at something, and you see a beam of moonlight passing through the purple trees, shining down onto that rock. And you have to blink and rub your eyes to see if what you're seeing is truly correct. But there it is. She's pulling strands of moonlight and weaving something together.
Wow.
How am I going to top that?
Mighty skillful, that.
Bildisa?
She says, "Yes, my dear Orvin." And she doesn't look away from the moonlight as she's pulling it, strand by strand.
Thank you for giving me a moment. It's just, it's a bit of an awkward situation. I hope you'll understand.
"Do tell," she says.
Well,
Did someone call my name?
somebody want.
Sorry.
That
Sorry.
was quite funny. That was good.
I'm sorry. Detail's dead. Different timeline.
Oh, sad.
Tragedy.
Somebody once said to me that perfection is timeless. And I really took that to heart, and I wanted to apply that to what I'm making for you. That said, perfection, as it turns out, takes quite a bit of searching for special materials. So I've got this group here together, and we're off gathering just some of the last materials that we need for this wonderful invention for you. But I told them that we were gonna sell it. I didn't mention you yet, but now that they've all seen you and it's out there, I told them the truth, and they all agreed that they want to do it anyways for you together. So we're still going through. I'm so sorry for the delay, but I just want to use the very, very, very best materials for you. I even have a stone consultant with me, not to spoil too much about it.
She
Tigran
slips,
takes a knee.
she slips off the stone in one graceful, fell movement, and she looks to you and doesn't say anything, and you could hear a pin drop with the silence. And she turns to the elf in brass armor, and she says, "What is your role in this procurement of ingredients, Master Elf?"
I'm doing the Hold on. I kind of forgot my role because it's been some time. We haven't got to my area of the project.
Lil Disa, please forgive him. He's our bodyguard. He took a blow to
That's
the
the
head
one.
yesterday, protecting us from a band of goblins. And he's been a little foggy.
God,
I see.
are you okay?
Hank's like, "Wait, goblins? When did we see those?"
Yeah, Hank's gonna go over and check his head. Jesus, man. Tell me.
Lil Disa
It's
will
like in the
step
movie The
over
Ringer.
to Finn.
When did we get ice cream?
And what is your role here, Master Scholar?
Well, my role is somewhat useless, as I am just a mere student of magic. I sort of weaseled my way in to join this group to get some real world experience for my final project. I figured with the original story of being told that we were going to sell this for money and make all the gold one could ever fathom, I figured that would be a great project and just really impress everybody at the Scholars' Quarters.
Finn, just a side note, in your studies at the Scholars' Quarter, you have stumbled upon some manuscripts detailing the legend of Lil Disa. You know semblances of who she is, and yet,
Gotcha.
even though you know the reality of that only death awaits for a glance of Lil Disa, it doesn't matter to you right now.
Gotcha.
She gives a gentle nod, and then walks over to the Minotaur. "And you, my furry friend."
I'm gonna bow my head and, "Milady, I have, I suppose, I can lift heavy things. I've got this ladder here that is quite useful. But I like to think I bring a certain, there's a certain thing I bring to the group that oh geez, and I'm gonna do some
Finn's gonna step up. Charm! A certain charm to the group.
Oh, yeah.
"I was going to
And
say
I'm
the
very-
same thing myself," she says. And she drags a single long finger across your arm and then twirls around, and her green planted dress flows and gives off a scent of moss. And she walks over to Asher and says, "And what of you, my shadowy friend.
Perfection requires only the rarest of materials. I myself happen to be somewhat of a specialist in procuring rare things.
I could see it on you. The moon told me before you entered the glade. And finally, she walks over to Sigrun and says, "So, Master Stone Consultant, what stone are you off to procure, and to what ends? How do you
Lady,
mean to manufacture this stone into an invention that will scream of my majesty for time
Well, would that not spoil part of the surprise if he answers the second half of your
do
question?
let me tell. I love my work.
She sees Sigrun's eagerness and Orvan's desire to keep it secret. And she gives Sigrun a smile, and only you catch this, Sigrun. A gentle wink. And she walks over to Orvan, and she stares at you. I'm going to need you, please, to make me a deception roll.
Who's making the deception roll?
This is Orvan.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Well, it's a good thing I have a hero point.
Gosh.
I'm just gonna use that right away here.
I think that's a good use.
Big money, big money.
Oh, great.
Literally, this is
No!
Well, ladies and
Two
gentlemen,
blows in a
thank
row.
you so much for watching Campaign 2.
Orvan, she looks at you, and she says, "And what a fine invention I'm sure this will be. What a majestic tale you've strung together. And a group of stalwart champions to accompany you no less. Stay with me, but for a little while, that I might perhaps inspire some more elements to this wonderful invention that you've no doubt already started its creation of." And she leads you to the banks of the river.
They called us champions.
Yeah.
I think it's just Orvin.
Oh, sorry.
No, she leads everybody over.
Oh,
Oh, okay, good.
She's treating everyone here as equals. There are no favorites that she's playing.
Aw, are you sure?
Time in Morrow's Leaf does not pass like wind or tide. It curls like smoke, it lingers like perfume, and it folds upon itself like old silk. Days begin to drift by like pollen, golden, silent, and the ticking of clocks becomes a foreign and ridiculous notion that is passed only to your memory. In the presence of Lilisa, time is not measured. You count glances. You count laughter. You count the rare moments when her fingers brush yours to correct a stance or trace a sigil of old magic on your skin. And in those moments, your soul forgets what silence feels like. She teaches you, not with tomes or tutors, but with her voice like warm wind, and with the effortless grace of her body in motion. The politics of Morrow's Leaf unfold before you, not as treaties or maps, but as dances, storms, and shadows. "This glade," she says, one dusk, after days or perhaps months have passed. She's lying atop a root-twisted throne of living birch. "This glade is mine, though nothing in Morrow's Leaf is truly owned. I am the glade, and the glade is me. That is why you are safe here. That is why you are mine, while you remain." You learn of the courts, not by name, for names are clumsy, mortal things, but by flavor, and by scent, and by story. You learn of the Daggerleaf Concord, who war not with blades, but with rumor, secrecy, and smiles. You learn of the Whispering Canopy, whose truths are hidden in riddles and rustling leaves. The Thornhelm kin, who nurse old wounds and wear their grudges like jewelry. You dine on fruits that glow with starlight and drip with memory. You drink from silver-petaled gourds that blur the line between dream and waking. You swim in the glade pond so clear that it shows not your reflection but your fears, and then teaches you to laugh at them. Your thoughts become songs. Your dreams hum with meaning. You are not taught here. You are changed. Vildisa, moon-wreathed and barefooted, eternal and unbothered, shows you that the language beneath language exists. Not in words, but in touch, rhythm, breath. You don't study, you become. Some nights, she disappears beneath the roots and returns with twigs in her hair and blood on her hands with no explanation. Some mornings, she weeps while the forest holds its breath. You never ask why. You know that she does not love you, not as mortals understand it, but when she smiles, when she truly smiles, it is enough to shatter the world and rebuild it around her eyes. If she asked you to drown yourself in the glade pond, you would, willingly, gratefully. It's not that you've lost yourselves, it's that you've been unmade and reborn in her shadow, and to you, it's a blessing. And though some thin part of you still remembers the world beyond, the roads, the inns, the old names of cities, it all seems absurd. The things of the outside world are strange and trivial now. Coins, promises, deadlines. Here, there is only Lilisa, and the ache of beauty that makes the soul tremble, and 1,000 perfect golden afternoons, each one more endless than the last. We're going to begin one of our endless days in Lilisa's glade, waking up in the shore of the glade. And this morning, like most, Lildisa is gone. You may begin your day.
You have the presence of
Give me a
mind
minute, man.
to start working on Bobbin.
Gee. Whoa. Wow.
I'm bathing in the water.
Well, as you awake, you notice, like every other day, that the moon is hanging heavy and indifferent above the glade, low and silver, casting everything in a pale dream light. The sun never rises in Morrow's Leaf, and the brilliant trillion endless stars shine ever bright. Crickets hum lazily in the underbrush, and a fine mist threads through the trees like a shawl, settling over everything with quiet reverence. The only break in the silence is the small splashes that can be heard as Hank glides through the crystalline waters. Lildisa is gone. She left some time before the twilight bloom, barefoot and humming something slow and sorrowful. She did not explain nor promise return, because she never has to. She simply was, and now she simply is not. Yet the glade is no colder for it. It breathes gently like a creature asleep, and you realize it is not her absence that feels strange. It is your own presence when no one is watching. You sit together near the pond, or by the ever-burning candle vine that glows a gentle blue from the water. There's no need for fire here. There's no hunger, no thirst, and no shame. The only times that you feel the urge to eat is when you feel the urge to experience the pleasure of the forest. You have no armor here either. All of your weapons and armor have been cast aside by the stone that you first met Lildisa at. There are no rivalries between you, no wounds festering beneath the skin. And all that had once separated you from your adventures together, back in the northern trading halls of Grimhaldor, titles, grudges, suspicions, has long since melted into the moss beneath your feet. Lildisa did not love you differently. She did not play favorites. In her eyes, you were not warrior or wizard or rogue. You were hers. And to you all, that was enough. And somehow, that has become enough for you two. You are not competing. You are not guarding. You are not hiding. You are simply together, bonded under this understanding. The glade does not demand anything of you tonight. There is no lesson to learn, no riddle to decipher. Just the still water, the humming grove, and each other.
I'm gonna make a fist in the water, right at the water level. I'm gonna go, hey guys, watch this. Pretty neat.
Pretty neat that was.
Yeah.
Orvin opens
And what
his mouth
sweet water
and
is?
says, here.
Squeeze as hard as I can to get the distance.
Right.
Oh, could you teach me how to do that?
Oh yeah, it's really quite simple. You just take your hand, make sure there's no gaps, and just kind of bump it. Yeah.
Sam, I need a skill check.
1 second, getting water.
There's plenty here. The gourd
Yeah, jump in.
all.
And how sweet it is, too.
Unfortunately, I'm the only one with
He
a
really-
token with the ability to do that, so I have to go and procure my water from the celestial kingdoms. What skill check are you looking for there?
Hank's trying to teach me how to do that thing.
Yeah, it's squirting the water out of your hand.
Squirt the water. Performance, maybe?
Yeah. There's no, like, education. Yeah, we'll do a performance.
Acrobatics.
Right.
Oh my god.
All right.
We just sink. We don't come back up.
Yeah, just at the bottom, I'm walking around.
Blunk.
You succeed and learn this.
Nice. Yeah, nicely done.
Wait a minute. Hank, do you still have that ladder?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna scurry out and grab it off the rock here, and I'm holding it over my head in the water. What's up?
Sigurd, do your cannonball off the ladder.
Okay.
Can you plant it into the...
Yeah. How high is this? How high is this rock here? The centerpiece.
Maybe 2 feet.
All right. We gotta raise this earth here. Any spellcasters know anything?
Let me see here. No.
Oh, I have an idea. Can I just find and stack 2 or 3 boulders? Get another foot or 2?
Yeah, you see boulders all around you, and I don't need a skill check to topple them up. Although I might need a performance check to see if the balance is right.
Ooh, well, okay, how about this? I'm gonna make a little mound of boulders, and I'm gonna put the ladder on it, and then I'm gonna sit on the ladder on the mound of boulders.
So wait, the boulders are below the ladder?
Yeah, and the ladder's off
Okay.
it, and I'm sitting on the end.
Very precariously
diving board.
walking up. Is this teetering back and forth?
No, it's hanging off like a diving board.
Oh,
I'd like to
okay.
assist. I'd like to assist by holding the opposite end of the ladder with Bobbin.
Okay.
Mmm.
Well, no. So
That's an awesome idea. No. Because if he goes onto the edge, we could walk out to the edge, and then him and Bobbin could drop off it and like sling us up.
Hey.
okay, yeah, like a seesaw.
Like a lever, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we center the ladder on the mound of rocks. And I am going to go out into the water and act as a counterweight to hold it up, right?
Okay.
And then And then Orvin and Bobbin, you guys stand on the other end of the ladder on the ground. All right, is this making sense? Am I understanding this right?
I'm following.
And then and then Finn, you stand in front of Orvin and Bobbin.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you gonna go? You want to stand there, or?
Positions.
And then now, when I give the signal, Orvin and Bobbin, you step off the rung you're standing on. And then when you do that, I am gonna jump and put all my weight on the ladder in the air. And then Finn, you should still be standing on the ladder, and it should then
launch me like a
launch
catapult.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
That's intense.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, Sigrun, count this. Go.
I step off.
I'm gonna drop my knees and put all my weight on the ladder in the air,
And Finn is gonna try his hardest to like time the inertia of it going up to like catch the apex and jump at that point.
Okay.
Try to get maximum height.
I'm going to have a very low DC for this because so many are assisting. I'm going to need an acrobatics check from you, Orvin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, failure.
No!
Oh.
Hero point!
Maybe I take like one step off, and I put my weight fully on the ground.
just hanging on the ladder. Wait, no.
You all watch as Orvin, not very gracefully, slips into the crystal clear glade stream with a bloop, not making a splash, as seems to be the way with this type of water. And as you guys are messing about, you see a figure approach from the shoreline to your north.
No way!
No way.
Hey!
Oh.
I know you!
He walks up in the same cloak that you saw him in episode 1, inside of the ice cavern. The stranger. And he bears a staff. But he looks a little bit different this time. There's a slight gleam to his face. Nothing that you would be particularly noticing of, considering these many months that you've been spending in the Fae with Lildisa. Everything seems to have ethereal glows about it, but you remember him distinctly not looking that way. It is, as sure as anything, the same man that you saw before, and yet he seems different. Changed. Perhaps experienced. And as he's walking up with his staff, he puts it in both arms as he reaches the shoreline and leans his weight upon it. And he says, "This is a dangerous place, friends."
What? I'm having a great time.
I see no
this is
danger about
great.
us.
I'm sure.
Come and join us.
He chuckles to himself and he says, "Why don't you come and join me on the shoreline?"
I'm gonna go.
What joys could you offer us that Our Lady does not?
Good question.
Wisdom. Wisdom that is unlearnable from the stars. Cannot be weaved like moonlight here, and cannot be learned through scent or through song.
What other way is there to learn other than through scent and song? For that is the way we have been taught.
It would be my delight to come and show you.
Does it require like a will save to like go to him or something?
Not yet.
Okay, well sure, I will paddle over, walk across the bottom.
Yeah, I'll be right there. I'm gonna go over and grab my stuff first from this rock.
Nice.
Perhaps you shall make us older yet. Though I did not believe it possible before meeting you.
Finn wants to come over to the rock and grab all his stuff.
As you approach your things, Finn, you look at it with distaste. You look at your gear, and you can only imagine the pain that it would put on your shoulders. How confined and imprisoned you would be by equipping your garb, and how foreign your implements would feel against your soft, uncalloused hands. Would you like to make a will save to see if you still want to grab it?
Yeah, I would.
Natural 20.
Oh,
The sight
shit.
of the old man brought something back to you, Finn. Memories of the harsh, cold winter landscape, the tundra, the fear of losing the refugees, the gripping chaos of the Duskhorn halls, the slaying of orcs, blood, violence. For the first time in a millennia, it comes to top of mind, and you remember your gear's purpose. And for the first time in many moons, you have a sense of doubt of the purpose of your time here and the character and person of Lildisa. You gather all your things.
Man.
Asher, are you coming?
Yes.
Has anyone seen Asher?
Asher. Asher is going to step out of the shadows behind the stranger
You were over here.
and say, I was over there. Now I'm over there.
Warp step, okay.
We see him with like anime hands running behind some trees along here, and ducks behind the guy and pops up.
What?
And everyone
that?
watches him
You
for like
got it.
3 minutes running, like
Yeah.
pausing behind each tree.
Yeah, he's like out of breath as he pops up.
Yeah. Hey, didn't expect me, did you?
Hank is just surprised. Like, what?
I didn't know you could do that.
You all gather around the stranger, and he says, "My friends, as lovely as I'm sure your time has been here, this is not the place for mortals. You will find yourself turning into something that you are not if you stay here but a moment longer. I'm going to need a will save from everyone except for Finn, if you want
Finn,
to
nice.
listen to him."
Same one that's up there?
It's
Oh,
a new
okay,
one.
nice.
I have a theory about this guy, and I'm not going to say it.
Okay, we got a lot of successes. Everybody succeeded, it looks like.
Pretty nice rolls.
Yeah, beautiful. You all hesitantly lean in to listen more, and you hate yourselves for it. But you feel an inkling inside of you that tells you that perhaps he's right, and perhaps this eternal fey bliss is not meant for you. He says, "If you are to survive your time in the glade, you will be among the first of mortal men and minotaurs.
Yeah, thank you.
This fey creature is not as she seems. Clothing delight in a dark, moonlit garb, she hides its true intentions. And while you are sure to know that you are nothing of value to her, there are only two ways that you can get out of this, both of which ending in death. Either from exhausting yourselves through efforts fruitless to gain her favor, or from sorrow as she inevitably casts you aside, one by one, as she bores of you. If you are to survive this night, you will follow me."
Oh, friend, your words cut my heart in two and turn the sun dark. How can we know they are true?
Right now, in the depths of the fey realm of Morrow's Leaf, you have no choice.
Yes.
Quite a
Makes a
convincing
good point.
argument.
Yeah. So we're kind of back. We've come to our senses.
Halfway.
Okay.
Finn more so than others. He's succeeded 2 will saves.
Okay.
If you guys would like to fully be on board, you can request another will save.
I'd
Can I
like to
look-
request another will save.
Okay, this one
Yes.
will be a little bit more difficult.
Hey,
I would as well.
And I'd also like to see what Hank does.
Before
What?
they roll, would I be
Oh.
able to? Oh, never mind.
sorry.
Oh.
No, you're good.
Secret is on board. Secret's mad.
All right. I'm rolling it.
Finn, if you'd like to roll this, you will be back to your senses, more or less. That is a critical success. It would appear that those endless months of toiling in the archives have served you well, Finn, and have gained you a level of mental fortitude that is rarely seen by mortals in Jurathia. You all realize that this stranger speaks truth, and you hate yourselves for it, but you know he's right. Come
Little
here.
Jesus is gonna kill me.
Yeah.
She'll allow you
You
to
know-
kill yourself before that happens if you stay here, friend.
Hard to argue with that.
I have abandoned my god in favor of this woman. What can I...
Yeesh.
What am I? How can I recover from such a thing?
With my help, and the help of others that have requested to see you, I think you might be able to. If you can leave this glade alive and with your souls intact, you will be of special interest to an interested party. I've been sent to collect you.
Friends.
How'd you know we're here?
The one I serve knows many things.
Friend, I thank you for finding us. For so long we have whored ourselves out to this false god or idol or whatever she presents herself as. When we have a quest to go on and duties to attend to and true heroes to follow.
Your heart
I'm
is
ashamed.
stalwart as stone, Master Dwarf. And that you are able to recover your senses, even while we speak in her glade, is a triumph that your forefathers would never dream of achieving. Quickly, gather your things and follow me. We do not have much time.
As I go to gather my things, I maybe slow a little bit in the river and just, like when you got to get out of the hot tub, time to get out, but you're like, okay, just a little bit more. You're
Yeah.
just a little slow with it. I'd like to do that.
Bro,
I genuinely don't want to leave this place. It's nice.
Hank, don't forget the ladder.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna kind of ponder my great axe a little bit, kind of shaking my head.
Yeah, if you were a pacifist before, you can only imagine the toll that these months have taken on Hank. The stranger pulls out his staff and takes his weight off of it, and he clacks it on a stone, letting out a resounding, reverberous cluck. And suddenly, a pixie appears and begins buzzing around you.
Ha.
Drake, I found them. Please take them.
Oh dear.
And the pixie
Grig.
fluttering around you says,
It would be my pleasure. And friends, thank you. You helped me immensely when you found this artifact. It meant the world to me, and it spared my life. Come, this way.
and he scampers off into the forest.
Secret is after it, bro.
I'm gonna thank the stranger on the way out.
He gives you a nod and he says, I will see you shortly when you arrive at your destination. And you all turn back to him, and he gives his staff another clock on the stone, and suddenly, your world turns to white, and you find yourselves within stone walls.
Oh, it's a little cramped.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel claustrophobic and scramble to try to find an exit.
Go into a rage.
Yeah, there's an obvious door right in front of you.
Oh.
I'm just
can't fit.
so flustered with the claustrophobia.
As you open the
Okay,
door,
so
you
we-
see Grig zipping around. It says,
Hurry, follow me. This way.
Okay, I'm gonna kick, so you get in the door.
All right, yeah, running start.
Was that a doom?
Let's
Did we
stuck in my belly as much as I can. Thank you.
did we die?
You follow Grig through an everglade with more of this crystalline water, and you can see pixies fluttering about in the water, paying you no mind. They're flying about and laughing. Their voices are high-pitched, and they're just making play. And he leads you off into the north. And you follow Grig through the winding hills of Morrow's Leaf. Very familiar to you, perhaps from a life once lived. Purple trees that spiral and creep all the way into the purple, star-kissed sky, with the paths ever-changing, ever-winding. And yet, even though you've read that in some storybooks landmarks begin to show themselves twice, thrice, maybe even a fourth time as you wander endlessly through this fey mirage, following Grig seems to have sidestepped all of those efforts, and the forest seems to reveal itself willingly to you. Until you find yourself at the beginning of a settlement, with bridges that are kissed with lanterns made of mushrooms, bioluminescent, and waiting on the bridge is the stranger. This way, friends. I have somebody who would like to see you.
Bit of a narrow walkway.
I've got a feeling.
It's gonna be a good night.
As you approach the building, it's built out of trees and rocks. It seems that it's naturally formed, and yet there are distinct windows and plant boxes littering around. It seems intentional, and at the same time, perhaps it was woven into the very fabric of the creation of this place. And the stranger pushes the door open with his staff. Master Reed, the players that you have requested are here.
Oh.
And you can all hear a chattering of bones rattling as in excitement as a florally decorated skeleton stands at the table.
I've been waiting to see ye for a long time. Me master has spoken of you.
And who is your master?
Yeah, your master.
The High King, of course. Please, you'll have to follow me this way.
And he walks out, and he's got a large hunch on his back as he walks, with each stride incredibly long, and he covers a lot of ground with each step.
How tall are
Damn,
these
he's fast.
doorways?
They're about maybe 6 feet tall.
Okay.
The deeper you follow Barnum Reed into the town square, the stranger it becomes. Twilight dances at the edges of your vision, and the trees seem to lean closer, listening. Flowers open as you pass, not to the sun, which doesn't exist, but to you. Barnum walks with quiet purpose. Despite the fact that he's little more than bone wrapped in trailing moss and memory, there's a gentleness to the way that he steps, like someone returning to sacred ground. He turns his skull slightly, not quite looking at you directly.
Not many are summoned to the court of the East. Fewer still are welcomed. But the king has called for you. Said he felt something coming. Said you would arrive like a breath through the leaves. Oh, and try not to stare. He's smaller than you might think, but bigger where it counts.
Well,
You pass beneath an archway of woven branches into a quaint building, and in its heart rises a towering tree with bark polished amber and leaves that shimmer like coins in the breeze. And waiting at the top stands a figure. He is small, barely 5 feet tall, but cloaked in a deep blue mantle stitched with silver thread, the edges trailing leaves that never wilt. A circlet of flowering wood rests upon his head. His beard is neat, and his hands folded politely in front of him, and his eyes, wide, warm, and curious, seem to shimmer with impossible depth. And as you approach, he steps forward. You must forgive me if I stare. I've waited for this moment for a very long time. I don't know you, not yet, but something in the wind told me that you'd come, that you'd be important, and I've learned to trust the wind in this place. I am Elim, king of the Eastern Morrow. Welcome to Meadowborough, wanderers. I hope in time we'll be more than strangers. You found your way to my court. Now let's find your place in it. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on Campaign 2, Episode 5.
Holy.
I hope you had as much fun.
Give me a sec.
hell yeah.
That was crazy. The reveal. Holy.
Drop that on
I have
us.
so many questions, but canonically, I can't.
Love his crown.
And it's dope.
Oh, that's awesome. He's back.
Yeah. Looking like
I
a wise
love-
little man.
I love the crown on the hat.
I didn't even see the
top the hat.
pictures. My hands have been over my eyes.
I'll show it one more time.
No. It's popped up. I haven't
Oh.
even looked at my screen in like a minute and a half.
It's awesome.
Music is so good.
Been sitting on that track for a while.
Oh, dude, it sounds like Ghibli. Even though it's not, it sounds like it's supposed to be. Like,
What is it?
It is from a video.
I want to find it.
I'll send it to you here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like
It's
new
by Aaron
Minecraft.
Cheroff. He does some of the Minecraft stuff.
Okay.
It's from a game called Moment to Midnight.
Oh,
that talented.
yeah. Cool that his
Fits
style
the
comes
world
through.
so well.
Wow, what a reveal! I have to say, I was not expecting a limb.
Who did you
That's
think it was?
crazy. I had no idea. I would have guessed some version of the Fairy Queen up until it was King, and then I thought, oh, what?
You know what? Screw it,
And
boys.
then
It's
I-
only 7:40. Do you want to keep going a little bit here? There's still more content.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You need a minute there, Finn?
Should we take 10?
Yeah, this is a good place to take a 10.
Could we?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll see you soon, stream. We'll be back. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You look at this new king, and there's a little bit of confusion, and yet there seems to be an aura around him that you recognize. Almost as if you've seen him before, maybe in a dream, or in passing in the street. You can't put a finger on who he might be, and yet the recognition lasts all the same. And the king looks to all of you and says, "This may sound funny, but you remind me of some people that I once knew, eons ago. Anyways, perhaps you might join me for a drink?"
Of course. We would be honored to.
Absolutely.
For those not responding, Barnum Reed stares daggers. You can see that Barnum is treating
Of course.
King Alim with much reverence.
Very good. Well then, do make your way with me.
So that means this is the same version of Barnum Reed that we... This isn't just like Barnum Reed in another timeline. This is Firepal's timeline Barnum Reed?
Like original?
Oh, okay.
Barnum, anyone who is in Morrow's Leaf survives.
Oh, man.
Welcome to Meadowborough, gentlemen. Alim
I gotta reload it.
Wow.
says to you,
There's a very fine establishment here in Meadowborough, and it was the first place that I ever ate at when I came here as just a little lad. Follow me. Welcome, newfound friends, to the whimsical widget.
I recall.
I recall as well.
Your heart is what, Sigrun?
Grieved.
Oh,
What did you think I had said?
I don't know. It's hard to hear over my own heart pounding in my ears because you're so heavy.
Well, I suppose I'll get off then.
No, I don't mind. I meant no offense.
as King Alim walks up to the bar, the giant moth gives a bow, a deep bow, and begins to suck out nectar from this large bottle and pours it out into cups, and then turns away and does its own busy work. And King Alim says,
Drink up, boys. This is some of the finest moth elixir that you'll find in all of Morrow's Leaf. And trust me, I've tried almost all of the establishments. Now,
He's like an alcoholic now.
well, it depends on your intentions. I'm sure you all have a lot of questions for me. And I'm more or less an open book for you right now.
Yeah, I do.
he looks to Finn.
So what is your name?
My name is Alim, Master of the Court of the Eastern Glade, and Town Mayor of Meadowborough.
Nice. Do you got a last name, Alim?
I do. My last name is Huckleberry. It was given to me by someone I loved very much.
Oh. That's great.
How did you know about us?
Contrary to the popular opinion of mortals, and trust me, I've been where you are. There is a stench that enters the entirety of the glade when you come into Morrow's Leaf. A mortal can be spotted from 1,000 miles away. It's as if you're blotting an ink splotch right onto a map of every single fae within these realms. And times are beginning to get troublesome again. I come from a time that is different from your own. A time of great darkness, turmoil, and tyranny on the rise. And at the same time, it's not all that different from the time that you find yourselves in now. And it is for this reason that I called upon you. Call me stupid, and I know Barnum will never say it to my face, but he thinks it. You remind me of someone.
Who do we remind you of?
They went by many names, and their tales strongly reverberate through Morrowsleaf, for they saved the world, and yet you will never find a mention of them, not even a quill stroke, in the archives of the Scholars' Quarter, where I know you, Mr. Finn, have spent many, many years.
Yeah.
But the name that most commonly we recognized was the Pyre Pals.
Sounds like a good group.
Wow.
Yeah, can't say I've heard of them. I've been around for 200 years. I can't recall that.
No, you wouldn't have heard of them. As I said, time works strangely, especially when you get meddling with magical artifacts of different sorts.
Well,
Asher, you shadowy figure. Almost the antithesis, and yet I see it in your eyes. You remind me of the Dragonborn. He was a stalwart champion of good, and an oath-bearer of the Fairy Queen herself, never letting injustice pass him by. His name was Aurelian Godsworn. And Valen. Though you may hate to hear this, you remind me of an orc. Tall in stature, not much unlike yourself. He was quiet, crafting. But he knew where it counted, and his loyalty would go to the ends of the earth. And Sigrun, perhaps it's just that you're a dwarf, but you remind me of a dwarf by the name of Torok Bloodtongue. A stalwart man, a man of principle and a man of great magic, who brought much comfort to me as a young little gnome, trying to find my way in the wide, wide world of Sharathia. No, Orovin, you remind me of Raylan. Raylan Ugwe, a small halfling of humble origins that came to be known as one of the great heroes of this land, who gave his life for his friends, and I witnessed it myself. There is one that puzzles me. I'm not sure who it could be. Hank, you remind me of a few persons that I've met in passing. A small little Caesar salad that I met on the road. A pixie, but I could just be mixing that up with my memories of all the pixies that live here. But most of all, you give off remembrance of a dwarf named Thonker Bjonkson, never seen without his trusting and loyal wolf, Bonk.
Wow.
And Finn,
Sounds strong.
oh, he was the strongest of them all. And Finn, it is of you that I have great interest, because you remind me of my father. He was a good man. A man who came from a troubled past and put aside his ways to achieve new light and new life. Arguably, most would say it's through the marriage of my mother, who I miss dearly. But I'm sorry, you'll have to forgive an old man for his ramblings. I'm sure you hear that you remind the elderly of people that they once knew.
No, please keep rambling. They all sound like they got massive dongs.
It's great. It's great flattery.
They were men most worthy of the greatest flattery. But it's a different question for you. Really, you'll have to earn that yourselves. And perhaps you might have a chance to here. There are rumblings in Sharathia dark, dark rumblings. Do you know the name of Princess Ilaria?
We've heard it, right?
Yeah.
You would have known her.
Sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
and we know of the going-ons with her, and
No, you don't know that. You heard a voice, and Asher kind of put two and two together, but that's kind of metagaming because you knew that blah, blah, blah. So
right. Okay, so we don't know. Okay, so yeah,
But
we're aware.
we know who she is. We know who her father was. That he.
Yeah. She's a very prominent
disappeared.
political figure.
And we know Ilvazor was murdered.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, poor girl, Hank's gonna say.
Yes, poor indeed. She was greater when I knew her, in another world. Although I knew her when she was long since passed on. You have to forgive me. Obviously, the things that I tell you won't make much sense, but you'll just have to listen and try to make the most sense of it as you can. Ilvazor was murdered. As I'm sure you've heard, it's all that the town criers can talk about. But he was murdered for a purpose. On the night of the third astral convergence, of the second astral convergence, well, no, it would have been the third. He tried to wield the stones, to come to tyrannical reign once again, and I know you all know King Ilvazor as nothing but loving, kind, just, and fair. But what would have happened if Ilvazor wasn't slain on that night, on that fateful night? He would have cast Sharathia into a deep darkness, and millions would have perished. And if it were not for the actions of the aforementioned Pyre Pals, Sharathia would be erupted in all-out war and darkness right now. It is only I who know this, Barnum Reed who knows this, and Ilaria has her suspicions. She found Fae on the remnants of her father's body. The blood that was on his green cloak when he was killed on the night of the second astral convergence was given back to the elves of Eldenholm. When they took it, the investigations were dismissed, but Ilaria demanded that she spend some more time with it, and sure enough, she found Fae remnants from Aurelian, who took Ilvazor's life with a mithril blade gifted to him by the Fairy Queen. Ilaria has since made it her life's purpose to try and resurrect her father, that she may know who did this, who committed this, in her eyes, heinous act of deceit.
Is it possible to bring back her father?
I fear it is. She has been working in the Eildun marshes since fled Eldenholm and has turned to necromancy. And she's been working tirelessly on raising the dead.
Oh, that doesn't
Spell
sound right.
magic.
Yeah.
A foul magic indeed. And I have
Yes.
even worse news. With each attempt with her newfound powers in necromancy, she failed to raise Ilvazor, but she created a demon of some sort. The Seven roam Sharathia on the hunt for the culprit of her father's murderer.
That would explain zombies all the way in the north.
Doesn't surprise me that you've already had a run-in with them. And I hear that you met somebody that was watching over you at the time.
We did.
Ellen, please forgive what I'm about to say, but what you've said is all very, very outrageous. How can we trust what you say?
I don't know if you'll be able to trust me. Apart from hearing me now, that unless you join me, Sharathia will tear itself apart. The elves are pointing their fingers at the men. The men are pointing fingers at the dwarves, and the dwarves are pointing fingers at the elves. A substantial power gap has emerged after the death of King Ilvazor, who was an astral emissary appointed to take care of the Eclipsar stones, which have now been destroyed. There are those who are aiming to fill that void of power, and the different houses of men, dwarves, and elves will tear itself apart. And if that happens, there will be no one to stop Queen Alaria from wreaking vengeance. I have someone that I'd like for you to meet for the second time. The stranger approaches.
What's up, bro?
Friends, I would like you to meet Zayorn.
I knew it.
What?
No way. Damn.
Zayorn
Zayorn?
gives you a humble bow. Friends, I suppose it is time that I reveal a little bit about myself. I am Zayorn, of time immemorial. I do not belong in this realm, but I had dealings in the celestial realms and a bit of a dispute, and I have been cast down to this earth to pay penance, to try and remediate my sins that I committed in the realms above. And it is through a happen chance of meeting Your Majesty, King of the East, that I think I may be able to do just that. I have been growing in my power since we last met. I was learning many mysterious things in that cave, and when you asked for my name, I did not lie. I did not know it at the time. But much has since been revealed to me. And I believe that with your help, and with my help to you, we may be able to ward off evil in Sharathia once again, and save her people from ultimate darkness. Gentlemen, for real, this time, thank you very much for joining me on Campaign
Wait,
2.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, one question.
But first off, pleasure to meet you. But Your Majesty, if you know this to be true, who killed her father, and why don't you just tell her?
Because she would destroy the realm of Morrowsleaf. She will leave nothing in her path. And although the culprit has gone, she found Fey remnants on the blade and the body of her father.
Oh. Makes sense.
She aims to fell the great tree of Morrowsleaf, whose, if roots cut, will send this Fey realm to oblivion.
Makes sense.
And it is unknown to most mortals of Sharathia, but it is contingent on the roots of Morrowsleaf that the entire continent rotates around and depends on for survival. Fae are often nothing more than a storybook or a fairy tale to children of Sharathia, but it truly means so much more.
I had no idea of these things.
Well, I'm sure you have a little bit more of an idea with your month spent with Lilia. And Elim spits out his drink. Oh, I meant to ask you about that. That must have been crazy. And he says one more thing. By the way, I know that you probably didn't enjoy my friend Grig very much. But that artifact that you helped him retrieve means more to me than anything else. And he pulls out the box that you retrieved and gave back to Grig. And he opens it up, and inside is a single ball bearing.
Ah.
Nice.
Thanks for joining me, gentlemen. We'll see you in a Wednesday from next. Thanks for joining stream. We love you all. Bye-bye.
Yeah.